picked up the bass when I was at UC Berkeley studying to be a journalist, actually. And I was hanging out with a bunch of musicians. And we were recording. I was a rapper. And I was running around Berkeley freestyling with a bunch of cats. And this bass player and this drummer would come to my house and we'd have these parties. And I would host the parties and freestyle. And we went in the studio to record something. And I recall that they were pretty much composing the music. And they really weren't interested in any of my input, anything I had to say about what the music should sound like, because I wasn't a musician in their eyes. I was just a rapper. But I grew up being a musician, and I had been thinking that I wanted to play something. And I mentioned it to the bass player after leaving the studio session. I was like, I think I'm gonna go home and buy a guitar. And he was actually a guitar player who was playing bass for that year. That's the only year of his life he ever played bass. He was lugging this huge upright around with him. And he's like, man, you should get a bass. I was like, why? He's like, you're a bass player. You walk like a bass player, you talk like a bass player. You should get a bass. And if you get a bass and bring it back to school, I'll show you some things on the bass. So I was like, okay. I wasn't attached to the guitar, the bass. I was just thinking, okay, I want to play something. And then I picked up the bass and I fell in love with it. Oh. So that's kind of how it happened. It just happened. I didn't decide to be a professional bass player. It just sort of happened. I was, of course I was rapping because I had grown up listening to rap music and rapping. And after picking up the bass guitar, there was these two personalities. There was this one rapper inside of me and then this emerging bass player. And I just loved to play. So some people knew me as this girl who played the bass around town, and some people knew me as this girl who rapped around town. And I started realizing that people didn't know that I did both. The people who knew I rapped didn't know I played bass. The people who knew I played bass didn't know I rapped. So I was like, I need to put these two people together into one package. And so I started writing songs and rapping on bass and performing those songs. And I wanted to be a better bass player. So I went to Victor Wooten's bass camp, and we had to introduce ourselves by playing, and I did a rap and a bass line, and he asked me to go on tour with him. So that's kind of how I became a professional, touring with Victor Wooten. And then I did that for about 5 years, and I heard about Beyonce's all-girl band, and I reluctantly auditioned, and I got the gig and really became a professional bass player. So it's kind of cool. Everything inspires me. I'm like a little sponge. Everything. A little article I might read on some website might inspire me. People inspire me. People doing great things around the world to help other people inspire me. Musicians who actually care about what they're writing and what they're putting out into the world inspire me. Anything. I could be walking down the street and see something and be like, oh my God, I'm inspired by that. How can I be a part of that? Or how can I put that in my music? So, I mean, everything. Victor Wooten definitely inspires me. He's an incredible bass player, an incredible person. So people who do great things inspire me. The highlight of my career. The obvious answer would be traveling around the world and being able to perform in front of thousands and thousands of people. That has definitely been a highlight of my career. I don't know if I've had the highlight of my career yet, but that's definitely been a highlight, to play with the biggest artist in the world, because Beyonce pretty much is the biggest artist in the world, and to be her bass player and be a part of creating her incredible show, and being able to tour around the world and see the world playing music has been definitely a highlight. The one ambition I'm still striving to achieve is to know thyself. That's the one ambition I'm still striving to achieve, is to know who I am and why I'm here. Yo, follow me on Twitter. After saying something like that. Oh yeah, we're starting a campaign where we're encouraging people to make one random act of kindness a week, at least. whatever that may mean to you. We just want to encourage people to change the world. My new single is called We Are. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We all complain. We all know what we complain about is going on in the world. But we're the only ones who can make a difference and make a change. So we can start by doing the smallest acts of kindness would help. Just shift the conversation, shift the mentality, shift the way the world is going, and try to shift it into another direction.